And good evening, everyone. An arrest by a Buffalo police officer is now raising questions about the way one officer handled himself during a domestic disturbance call.
At a time when the city's police force is making strides with community policing, some wonder whether this sends the right message. The News 4 Investigates team has been looking into this tumultuous encounter that played out as cell phone cameras recorded. Luke Moretti reports.
This is what can happen when emotions run high between the police and the public.
Mom, they're trying to take me to jail.
For example, consider this incident in April involving Buffalo police and a couple sitting in their car.
Want to get out of the car. So eventually this window's going to get broken. You could get tripped.
You're going to bust my window out?
The police got a call involving a domestic disturbance. Someone in the neighborhood saw the couple in the car fighting and called 911. Celicia Orzak is on the driver's side. Her boyfriend, Tomas Sanchez, is on the passenger side, recording as police approach.
But then when he started to threaten to break my window, then I'm like, all right, now I have to get out of the car because I don't want my window broken and I don't want nothing to happen to me. I'm pregnant.
Eventually, Celicia gets out, not sure why she's being forced out of the car. Then her boyfriend exits the vehicle, still recording, but not for long.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me, sir. You ain't got no probable cause to touch me.
You got any weapons on you? Yes, I do have probable cause. Turn around. Put your hands on the vehicle.
Within seconds, the boyfriend is taken to the ground by police.
They said he's got a gun, I'm like, what? There's no gun. And they dropped their magazine and tried to say it was him.
Celicia's mother, Cheryl Carrion, who lives a few doors down on Chauncey Street, starts recording with her cell phone.
He's on the ground. There must have been, I think, like 5 cops, maybe 6 cops on him.
The video shows 5 officers struggling to get the man in handcuffs. You can even see one officer throwing punches to get him to comply.
Mom, they're beating him.
I know, I got it on video.
See his hands behind his neck. See him putting his hands back so we can cuff him. No, you don't. See? Give us your hand.
Resist.
Do it, G.
Baby, they're gonna hurt you.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my God.
They're using what's known as a pain compliance technique. And while to some it may look like excessive force, police tell News 4 Investigates that he's actually being hit in the shoulder area to loosen his arm so police can cuff him, a technique they are trained to do. Buffalo Police Captain Jeff Rinaldo calls it a textbook arrest.
You saw every officer that was on the suspect was holding down a different body part. Nobody other than one person was delivering any type of impact. Just the officer that had the handcuffs was attempting to get him handcuffed. So I applaud their use of force.
But Sanchez's girlfriend and her mother don't see it that way.
I'm just seeing all these officers beating him, punching him in the side of his head, where his head is literally hitting the concrete.
Cheryl Carrion says the whole incident left her shaken.
Her boyfriend on the ground, she's crying. I don't know what to do. I can't help neither one of them.
We showed the video to Buffalo Council member David Rivera.
It's not easy to take down somebody that doesn't want to stay down, that doesn't want to be cuffed.
Rivera, a retired Buffalo police officer who spent 25 years on the job, chairs the Police Oversight Committee.
You always look at the hands because if anything is going to happen, it's going to be because of reaching for something. So it's very difficult. It's a judgment call. I don't know where his hands were.
The video captures a chaotic scene on the street as officers struggle to get the man cuffed and in custody.
God!
Give us your hand.
You can hear yelling, screaming, and lots of obscenities.
A citizen decides the amount of force used against them by the police. If you comply, there's no force. If you resist, there's force to overcome the resistance.
Meanwhile, Celicia, who's visibly upset and yelling at the cops, questions why her boyfriend is being arrested in the first place.
They called 911, said you guys were fighting in the car. You could pull them out. Nobody wanted to get out of the car. You made this difficult.
Second round.
Eventually, Sanchez is cuffed and walked to the car, charged with resisting arrest and obstructing. You'd think that would be the end of it. Case closed. But not on this day. Things start to heat up as police go through Celicia's car.
They're going through my car. They ain't got no probable cause to go through my car.
You're about to get locked up in another second.
Shut your mouth.
For using
Shut your mouth.
obscenities in public. You want to go to jail too?
Speaking of obscenities, they're not just coming from Celicia. Listen as Officer William Hofstetter starts engaging in a verbal sparring match, and it's all captured on video.
He would not cooperate because he wouldn't cooperate after you beat him. So nice try.
All right,
You
shut
call
up.
the captain. You call the chief.
Shut
You
up.
call internal
Stop,
affairs.
stop.
You call whoever you have to call. Because you know what? You're the problem.
All right,
You were fighting him. We're here investigating. You are the problem.
He was just so rude and disrespectful, and I was like, I literally couldn't believe that's what was happening.
But wait, there's more.
You just beat the hell out of him.
Maybe if you didn't get in a fight with them in the first place, we wouldn't be here. This could have been so easy.
I just lost my baby.
It's the public that makes everything so difficult.
My baby, my dad, and I.
We asked Captain Jeff Ronaldo if this is what the department has in mind when it comes to community policing.
We never want to see officers lose control of their temper. In this case, after reviewing it, the commissioner feels that his conduct wasn't necessarily the most professional, so we will review this internally, and it will be handled internally.
No one doubts that police have a tough job out there. They're dealing with all sorts of unpredictable situations, with the possibility of danger lurking around every corner. However, dropping F-bombs at the public in the middle of the day on a residential street makes you wonder.
That's a problem, right? I mean, it is a problem. On all sides, there's a problem. There's a problem on the young lady's side. She is yelling and screaming just as loud as the police officer. The boyfriend is yelling. It's a chaotic situation. And then the police officer is there as well. And you can see this exchange between all three of them back and forth. And the situation only escalates.
Paul McCauley, a former police officer and criminal justice professor at Indiana University of Pennsylvania, says that sort of behavior generally runs contrary to accepted police practices.
I would like to know who was the senior officer or the officer in charge or the supervisor on site, because when that verbal exchange was taking place, if I were the senior officer or the supervisor, I would have gotten that officer away, have him go sit in his car.
I think in this case, with this officer, it's a matter of having a conversation and a bit of training, recognizing that things could have been handled better.
The Buffalo Police Department prides itself on community policing, connecting with the public in a positive way. But this one instance, this snapshot in time, doesn't help the cause.
I lost faith in the police force for doing what they did. And if you're having a bad day, don't take it to work with you. You're supposed to be doing your job as a police officer, protecting.
For this one incident, there's probably hundreds of incidents of police officers that just handled it perfectly and did a good job. And you don't want to tarnish everybody because our tone of one police officer.
Well, later, the officer walks over and tries to calmly explain what was happening and why. But by that time, Celicia and her mother soured on the way it was handled. We asked criminal defense attorney Mike Taheri for his take on how this was handled. You saw the video.
I did.
What's the takeaway here?
There are two sides to it. I think, certainly there was an escalation of voices, of conduct, and that led to a very heated exchange by a member of law enforcement, which certainly wasn't necessary, but at some level was the appropriate respect and cooperation occurring between the people who were being investigated. That's going to take some time to sort out.
They cuff him, eventually put him in the car. You think it would be over with, right?
You would
Then the verbal exchange starts. What'd you think of that?
And that's really what's most disturbing about it. I mean, let's remember, law enforcement comes to the scene of this alleged criminal domestic violence. They don't know if there's anyone armed. They don't know what to expect or who there's going to confront. So they need to, one, gain control of that environment and take charge to investigate the crime and also secure and make it a safe area for the community. But once they've done that, afterwards, there's just absolutely no reason whatsoever for that member of law enforcement to start berating this person.
I mean, she is out there yelling, and she's dropping some obscenities as well, right. But police are trained to deal with that sort of thing.
Let's respond to that. although the citizen has an obligation to be polite and cooperative, so does law enforcement. And I think it started to get heated with his tone, his surliness, and word choice. So me, as the member of law enforcement, you know, I got to approach with a nice tone and try to see if I can get their support and confidence to get them out of the car without an incident. That's the worst thing for both sides. Both sides then face risk of injury or death.
The police encounter. What do we do? We're approached by the police, whether they're called through 911 or something. I mean, what should we be doing?
If the officer says get out of the car, I better get out of the car. And you've got to kind of keep that situation as de-escalated as possible. On the other hand, if there is a problem, if you're arrested and you think improperly, you contest the case in the criminal courtroom.
As for the boyfriend who was arrested and charged with resisting and obstructing, a Buffalo City court judge is expected to decide on a motion to dismiss the charges sometime next week. Luke Moretti, News 4.